iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome in here, race fans, tonight to the Watkins Glen International Raceway here in the hills of central New York. The Watkins Glen International Raceway plays host to all sorts of touring divisions, from GT cars to the NASCAR high horsepower machines. But tonight, it's all about the thundering beast from the Northeast. The Whelen Modified Tours here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Modified Series tonight for the Six Rings Racing 30 here at the Glen. It has only been done a handful of times that the Modifieds have been run here on the twists and turns in Watkins Glen, but tonight Red Light Racing returns to some grassroots, hardcore racing action. 22 drivers have made the trip here to the wine country in New York, and they will see if they can take home the checkered flag here tonight after 30 laps in the Six Rings Racing 30. Qualifying has already been done here tonight. It does look like John Whitendorf, who did have the top time in our practice session, he will start P number 1 here tonight. But when you talk about the Whelen Modified Tour, it used to be the NASCAR Featherlight Modified Series back in the early 90s and through the mid-2000s before they switched the name. Only a handful of drivers ever were able to grace this grounds here and find victory lane. Mike Stefanik was one of the drivers, along with Ted Christopher and Tim Conley. So 3 drivers out of 6 times that the series has ever been here have gone to victory lane. Well, Red Light Racing is going to stamp another one on that list of drivers that have been to victory lane here. Let's take you down trackside as you see the cars are starting to make their way to the starting lineup. Let's take you through your starting lineup here tonight. Starting lineup is brought to us by our friends at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Check them out as you enter Massachusetts. Located in Ayer, Massachusetts, the friendly owned and family operated Checkered Flag Auto Supply has everything you need, from tires to brakes to starters to shocks, to keep your car on the road. Snagging the pole here tonight, this is car number 24. John Whitendorf will take the front row here tonight. Alongside with him, the driver out of Canada, driving the MK Medic number 42, Max Terriol. Starting back in P number 3 here, he hails out of Ayer, Massachusetts. It's the Single Racing number 11 of Sean Single. Starting in P number 4, hailing out of Florida, the Rev Esports driver, the BK Paints number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Starting back in P number 5 out of South Carolina, the Rev Esports Group, number 23 of Blade Timmons. Eric Stout on the Six Rings Racing number 4 here tonight with his iconic paint scheme. He will go from P number 6. Alfred Sharon Jr., the driver of car number 78 out of the Sharon Racing Stables. The RacingSchool.net entry will go 7th, while Brian Bianchi in the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe, 14, Massachusetts, will go from P number 8. Starting 19th, the driver out of Norman, Oklahoma, driving car number 19, Travis Minto. It's the 54 NC of Rex Hoyle in the Colony Tire and Service Center, number 54. He will roll from the 10th position, while the Bragg Motorsports, number 31 of Dave Bragg, will go 11th. 12th on the grid, the driver out of Virginia, driving the RPM Motorsports of Mark Jenkins, will roll with car number 99 from position number 12. Starting 13th, it is the Higgins Hill Racing number 40 Checkered Flag Auto Supply of Rob Higgins, while Philly Edwards, the newcomer, driving car number 73, will go 14th. It's the youngster out of South Carolina. It's the 271 of Aiden Alvecchion. Starting back into the 16th position, he drives car number 33 for the Racing School. This will be Mike Taschereau, while the Racing School number 8 of Dan Butler will go 17th. Daniel Tobin Jr. will roll there from the 18th starting spot with his van on the side of that car. We'll touch on that one a little bit later on. Starting back into the 19th position, it's the old Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry, the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. Starting back at 20th, he's the Canadian Bacon Eater for the Rev Esports Group, number 45 of Tim Williams. Bob Higgins, driving the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, number 30, will roll off from the 21st position, while Dalton Williamson, last season's champion out of Tampa, Florida, will roll from the final starting spot here tonight. So 22 cars are set to go racing here tonight. Which one, after 30 laps, will find themselves in victory lane? A lot of treacherous spots here at Watkins Glen. Turn 1 here tonight is going to be very treacherous here. Coming up through the S's, the cars are very unstable up through the S's. And, of course, the ever-treacherous down the back straightaway. Once they do hit the bus stop, will be treacherous down around the carousel and right here through these final 2 corners. So just 2 more corners before we drop the green flag here tonight. Watkins Glen. It's the wine capital of the Northeast, with some of the most iconic cars that pound the pavement on short tracks all up and down the East Coast, getting ready to take flight. iRacing.com safety car is off. This should be the last time we see the pace car here tonight. 30 laps the distance here. The Six Rings Racing 30 at the Glen is green flag racing. As they all storm down the hill into turn number 1, who will be the first one to make a mistake? Max Terrill, though, trying to take the outside lane here and outbreak car number 24, John Whitendorf. It looks like they're going to go side by side into corner number 2, up through the S's. Whitendorf, though, flexes his muscle. He will come up the S's as the race leader. Riding on board with our second place car. 1 car around in the S's, though. It's the 54. Rex Hoyle, the driver, out of North Carolina, up in smoke in the Colony Tire and Service Center, number 54. A bunch of them have wadded them up here. Let's take the look. What happens to Rex Hoyle as he came up through the S's? Him and Mark Jenkins going to make a little contact, and that's going to, Aiden Alvecchion is involved in that one also. Will be Whitendorf, though, leading the way here. Whitendorf looking to lead lap number 1 here tonight at Watkins Glen. Shown a lot of pace, but we know Max Terrill back there. He is no slouch either on these road courses. One of the best here with Red Light Racing. Our timing and scoring finally clicking in here tonight. We will go 30 laps the distance here as Whitendorf does lead lap number 1. So Whitendorf leading lap number 1 with Max Terrell right there in tow in P number 2. Then you got the Sean Single entry back in P number 3. Gotta go just a little bit farther back. Blade Timmons and Alfred Sharon back here battling for position. Everybody looks like, except for 2 drivers right now, are still out there on the track. Call it 3 drivers, because Hoyle is now down on pit road. There you see the Philly Edwards entry down on pit road, along with Mark Jenkins, Rex Hoyle, and now Aiden Alvecchione have all come to pit road. Running a little wide down there through out of the carousel. There is the number 2 of Michael Trevorthan. He runs a little bit wide, along with Brian Bianchi. He will run a little bit wide also. Everybody else right now has been staying on the speedway. Everybody knows it's 30 laps. It's not a sprint race, that is for sure. The 2.6 mile speedway here tonight. There's the race leader. Whitendorf comes back across the line. Leads another one. That time, though, when he got heavy on the brakes down at the turn number 1, got a little bit sideways with the rear end of that car. Was able to gather it up, though. Get everybody as they come out of turn number 1 up over the rumble strips. One car getting a little sideways. That's the 19, Travis Minto. Got a little sideways and gathered it back up. Driver out of Norman, Oklahoma. A regular here on the Thursday night modified tour. Switched over the last 2 seasons to run the Scrambler Series, though on Monday nights. Tim Williams and Daniel Tobin Jr. swapping spots. Williams going to go around him up through the S's. There you see Daniel Tobin Jr. tonight has a new sponsor aboard. The number 94, the driver out of Auburn, Massachusetts. A Twitch streamer over on Twitch, always bringing his in-car perspective along with playing other racing games out there and occasionally sprinkling in a couple other video games types on his absolutely wicked, crazy simulator that he has. Right now, Tobin has picked up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. He's running in the 13th position. Whitendorf, though, sitting in blistering pace. He's back down into corner number 1, followed by Max Terrell along with Sean Single. And Michael Trevorthan is right on the back heels of car number 11. 1 car wide. That's the 23 of Blade Timmons. Timmons was talking about this race earlier. We got to talk with him prior to qualifying, right while all these drivers were doing their hot lap session practicing. He said tonight his goal was to lay back and let everybody else make the mistakes. He was inside the top 5 in the practice session times. 1 car having some issues. That's the Racing School. Number 8 of Dan Butler. Driver out of Southbridge, Massachusetts. Had some issues. Let's take a look. Down into turn number 1, we told you it was going to be a treacherous spot. You can see the front end of car number 8 go down, and he's going to hit the apron, or not the apron, that's actually the rumble strips there, and then he's going to park the left front wheel inside the tire barrier. He does get it gathered back up. One other car had some problems, though. I believe this was Daniel Tobin Jr. There you see the 94 entry down into turn number 1. No, he got some wheel hop. The rear end got squirrely, and around it's going to go down to turn number 1. As he was gathering it up, that's when Dan Butler and the 8 car went flying through there, and those tire barriers actually probably just saved Butler from going even farther off the speedway. Race leader, though, has now opened it up to a 2-second race lead for John Whitendorf. 17 drivers still out on the speedway. Hoyle, Jenkins, Edwards, and Alvecchione have all right now parked their machines. It does look like they're out of their cars. They look to be done here this evening. Bob Higgins, unfortunately, spinning around the checkered flag. Auto supply number 30. Looks like he'll take the tow quickly to pit road, so the virtual tow truck will pick him up and take him back to pit road. Sharon, though, still all over the back end of car number 23 of Blade Timmons. Currently, that's the battle for the 5th and 6th position. Some of the closest drivers on the speedway. No, a huge wiggle that time. You saw the 23 of Timmons absolutely all wonky that time down in the final corners. That's going to allow Sharon to take the spot back as he had a great run. Timmons going to have to give up the spot. Maybe a little bit of crossover. Sharon going to go for a slide. Sharon for a spin off turn number 1. You see him trying to get the 78 turned back around. Car is oncoming, so has to do it a little bit cautiously. He'll lose a couple spots. He'll fall to 10th on the pecking order now, so Alfred Sharon losing ground. Watch it as he goes to the inside here on Timmons. Timmons is going to give him the inside lane. Gets down on that rumble strip, and it looks good, but when he goes back to the throttle, just right around, car number 78 is going to go, and he'll wind up softly on the tire barrier. Eric Stout in that Six Rings Racing number 4 this season. Brand new number for this driver. Running throwback paint schemes this season here. Honoring his real-life favorite driver in the modified, the Mystic Missile. Wheeled by Bobby Santos. See the Circle Track sponsorship on car number 4 here tonight. Absolutely beautiful. Back when it was the Feather Light Modified Tour is when that paint scheme originates from, and a little bit of a spin on it for Eric Stout this season. Tobin Jr. still back here. He's trying to run back down Granny Hips in that Walkers and Canes number 13. Joshua Buckley was putting out a lot of content over the summertime with his YouTube page, calling himself Granny Hips Walkers and Cane. Of course, he has some really bad hips, but still comes out here to race on Mondays and Thursdays with Red Light Racing. Of course, Josh, the big wig behind all the scenes here with Red Light Racing, pulling all the strings, making all the schedules, the setups, and everything, so puts a lot of time in behind it. It took us a couple years, though, to convince Joshua Buckley that we needed to come here to Watkins Glen. It's something that they've always toyed with. Of course, when we came here with the SK Modifieds in a practice fun run, it just wasn't quite powerful enough, they said. We needed something a little more ground shaking, as you see him. Oh, big moment there. Here comes the 94. Daniel Tobin Jr. going to go well off track down there. We'll have to give back a little time. The race official said anybody that does cut the course here tonight will get a hold or slow down penalty. So Daniel Tobin Jr. there has to give up a couple of seconds. He'll fall about 3 seconds back. You see the ground he lost. He was right there with Mike Tashiro and Joshua Buckley. Now he's sitting 3 seconds back behind the two. The blistering pace still being set, though John Whitendorf has led all the laps so far here tonight. Question being, though, will he have to pit? A lot of the drivers said no, if you baby it enough when you take care of your tires, which these drivers, you've seen it, race fans, they are slipping and sliding and using every inch of this road course here tonight. One driver all out of shape back there. That's the 23. That was Blade Timmons once again. Timmons was sideways. Was able to gather it back up. His tires, I believe, are screaming at this point, and this time by it'll just be 8 laps completed for your race leaders. There's Whitendorf, and there's your second place car, Max Terriot. You can see him hanging it out off the corner. Look at Sean Single doing the same thing. Michael Trevarthen, though, pretty straight that time off corner number 1. It's really neat to watch these cars that you normally see on your short tracks at your local home tracks on Saturday night, maybe Friday night, Sunday afternoons, run here at this big road course. You don't get to see it very often, but these kind of little quirky races that we do get to, kind of relive because of the iRacing.com platform. Absolutely amazing. Right on board here with the helmet camera on. Michael Trevarthen as he tries to get around Sean Single through the little bit of a short shoot back here. He'll make it happen. That'll be the pass for P number 3 now. Very ginger, but you heard him slide the tires that time in the final corner before the front straightaway. So he'll lose a little bit of the straightaway speed, but he will still be able to hold on to P number 3. So 21 laps to go, a brand new third place runner, but will Michael Trevarthen be able to run away and hide? Looking to see where the best battles are on the speedway, and you are watching the best battle. Everybody else has pretty much single filed out. Neither of these two drivers have championships to their names here with the modified division, but multiple wins. Looks like about 7 wins between the two drivers over the last handful of seasons in the SK Modified Tour division. Of course, this season kind of wiping the slate clean as it's the Whelen Modifieds. A little more horsepower, a little bit wider tires. 2-speed gearbox also. Final corner, 20 laps to go here. Still out front, John Weickendorf now has stretched his lead to an 8-second differential. Take a look, track map, if you can see it down there on the right-hand corner of your screen. Drivers with their initials here tonight of where they are running. John Weickendorf coming down here into the bus stop. Probably one of my favorite tracks here because of this bus stop on the back straightaway. You have that very long back straightaway, and then all of a sudden a very quick right to a left to a right again. Right, left, left, right. That's what it is. Sometimes I get the right and the left mixed up, obviously. You do see lap traffic coming into play here for the first time tonight. That is Dan Butler in the Racing School, number 8. He'll just pull over. He will allow the race leader of John Weickendorf to get on by. He will not battle him at all. Butler having some handling issues. You can see the left-hand side. That left front is absolutely shortened up by about 3 inches ever since he was into the wall. So, right on board down into turn 1 here with Dan Butler. Hear him very ginger on that throttle. Doesn't want to make another mistake here tonight. Ever since getting around him, hasn't been able to pull any ground. Michael Trevarthen still holding on to P number 3, while Sean Single is still there in 4th. Let's see if we can take a ride around the speedway with the number 11 of Sean Single. Right on board with him with 19 laps to go. Beautiful shots there as we rode on board for a lap around Watkins Glen with Sean Single trying to wheel back in. Car number 2 of Michael Trevarthen that was sitting there that got around him. Those 2 BK Paints entries. Running currently 3rd, 4th, and actually 5th because there is the other BK Paints number 23 here tonight of Blade Timmons. The other BK Paints entry of Dalton Williamson did not make the starting call here tonight, so he will be credited with, I believe, the 22nd position. as he did not turn one lap here, not even in qualifying, not in our practice session. Believe Dalton's feeling under the weather, so we do hope Dalton feels better, and we hope he can get back out onto the speedway as soon as he can. He was our two-time defending champion here in the SK Modified Series, won Season 4 and Season 5, and then we came here to the Modifieds. Race leader, though, out in front of him, just about a second and a half up the road, has a bunch of cars. That's going to be Tobin Jr., Taschereau, and Joshua Buckley. So while Buckley, right now sitting on the hot seat, kind of has to get things going. You don't want to go a lap down. There is no caution flags here tonight. There will be no lucky dogs, no wave arounds. It's going to be first one to the checkered flag will win. Right now, Josh Buckley is sitting 15th. And, well, he's looking to go a lap down. He's going to move right out of the way. John Whitendorf will have the inside lane. That'll put Josh Buckley running 15th, up 5 spots from where he started here tonight. 1 lap down to the race leader, John Whitendorf. Max Terrell still sitting there, still within 10 seconds. And, well, anything can go at road courses. Max knows that, so Max just is going to have to keep his nose to the grindstone and keep on going. Daniel Tobin Jr. now will be the next one. One car around, I believe that was the 78. Sharon Jr. going around. What happened? Actually, it looks like Sharon had 2 incidents here. This is 2 laps to go down in turn number 1. Oh, bit him again down in turn number 1. Spun the car back around, and then this is what happened 2 laps later. Turn 1 entry got him. But wait, there's more. After the bus stop, down into the carousel. Just came around. I suspect the tires, those Hoosiers, are just absolutely beat up, wore out. Brian Bianchi also, while we were watching that replay of Sharon, went down into turn number 1 with his Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe, number 14, Massachusetts, and he just went around. Looked like he was in a slide from the time he tried to point that car into the corner and just kind of rode it out. Peanut butter and jelly here are still locked together. That's the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen and the number 11 of Sean Single. Well, we got to thank all the race fans that are tuning in out there tonight, whether you're watching us live tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page or whether you're watching us over on our YouTube page. We appreciate each and every one of you is tuning in here tonight to watch the Six Rings Racing 30-lap feature event here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Modified Series for Red Light Racing. A good one if you're a John Whitendorf fan right now. Oh, something happened. What happened to Max Terriel? Oh, our crew tells us. Oh, lost it. Through the carousel here. We just saw Sharon lose it down here. Rear end steps out on Max, and around he goes. Kind of got stuck in gear. Sean Single split. There's the 42. Sitting sideways. Trevarthen went to the outside. Single went to the inside. So with 14 laps to go right at the halfway point, Max Terrill having just a little bit of an issue. One driver to pit road here. I don't know. Oh, he's actually stopped right at the entry to pit road. That's car number 45, Tim Williams. Williams going to get it turned around right in front of Joshua Buckley. So Buckley going to pick up 2 spots in the last 5 laps, or 4 laps actually, looking at it, because Sharon Jr. had a problem. Now Tim Williams, the driver out of Ontario, Canada, had a little bit of problems in car number 45. Whitendorf loving what he sees right now. 18 seconds over the second place driver of Michael Trevarthen. He'll now put down the number 30 of Bob Higgins. And Higgins actually going to go way out. There's marbles out there. There's dust. There's dirt. Higgins going to spin it around, and he'll keep going, but he'll lose a lot of time. He's being scored back in the 17th position right now. There's Rob Higgins in car number 40, the driver out of Massachusetts. The Oak Hill Country Club driver, out for a country club kind of night here. Said he was going to drink a couple Busch Lattes and just see what happens. 33 of Taschereau, though, overshot that corner. He's having some handling issues on the racing school, number 33. Well, you would have never guessed it if I wouldn't show this. The number 2 of Michael Trevarthen and the number 11 are still within a couple car lengths of each other. Something's got to get... Oh, Single's really on it. Overdrove it into one, locked him up, and the car went around. There's the 94, Daniel Tobin Jr. right now separating our second and third place driver. Sean Single's just going to come up on the 94 at the wrong place at the wrong time. Going to kill a lot of his momentum down the back straightaway. Sean Single using all the room he had to the inside to try and get around. Now looks like Sean Single's going to follow in behind the 78 of Sharon Jr. through the bus stop here into the carousel. Well, it's just a very loose car out there, I'm being told, by these drivers and their crews, and it's just very ginger to come back onto the throttle. Eric Stout going to go to pit road. He had an issue. What happened to Eric Stout? I don't know if something just broke on the 4 machine or what happened coming up through the S's. He was still trying to drive it when he hit the grass. Or see if we can find out what happened to the number 4 of Eric Stout. Sean Single has drove back up to, though, the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. They're sitting almost 22 seconds even, though, with 11 laps to go. About a half a track, not quite, call about a quarter of a track actually behind. Eric Stout, Mike Taschereau down pit road, and nope, the Busch Latte machine must have been reaching for another Busch Latte, and he's going to end up blowing through the bus stop, and he'll get back on, but now he's got Trevarthen and Single bearing down on him, and they are racing for position, while Higgins is being scored 9th, 1 lap down. Here's the battle for position, though. Sharon going to get around Higgins. That's for the 9th spot. Brian Bianchi was the last car that was on the lead lap, but now he'll lose it down in turn number 1. The 505 Motorsports driver, the Tuxedos by Ted. Billy the Kid power plant underneath that Cole Peppers machine. Well, Doyle, we miss you out here tonight. It would have been fun to see you try and turn right and left here tonight at Watkins Glen, but we understand. Trust me, I know all about the back pain hurting. We had to go get ourselves a very comfy chair here after our injury down in Tennessee. You see Dan Butler going another lap down in car number 8 here tonight. Butler back in 14th, 2 laps down. Weitendorf will take another one off. So it'll be just 9 laps remaining here. Sean Single can just not get around the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He left him go about 15 laps ago, take over that third spot, and now they have inherited one car riding the wall back there. That is car number 42, Max Terriot. Just got into the wall on the final corner. He rode the wall, and that's going to put a little camber into it. Tobin Jr. sliding out of the first corner. Tobin's been able to rally back into the top 10 here with everybody else having some issues. He's been able to claw his way up 9 spots into 10th. Tim Williams, though, right behind him is the biggest mover. He's picked up 10 spots, running now into the 11th spot. He has been around a time or two. Mike Tasher is still sitting on pit road, coming to get 8 to go. John Whitendorf will come by this time. There's somebody we haven't seen tonight. He's been very, very quiet, driving the Jiffy Lube number 31 out of Peterborough, Canada. Dave Bragg, Mr. Jiffy Lube out there. He's being slick here tonight like some Jiffy Lube. Just hasn't really done anything wrong. Just keeping the car on the track, just running his race, not letting the other drivers race around him, really coax him into making the mistakes. He has not been off the track yet tonight. He's kept all 4 tires on the pavement here, and that's just what you want to do. Very easy right through the bus stop there. It has him sitting in Pete number 7. He is 1 lap down right now, but just very quietly chugging along. Travis Minto, another one of those drivers here tonight that's just been quiet since the drop of the green flag. Had himself a very solid night. He's actually sitting in the 6th position. And you guessed it. Our every other lap check-in here with 2nd and 3rd. Because Whitendorf is absolutely obliterating the track here tonight. I'm going to guess he has turned a lot of practice laps. Oh, Doyle, you with the dad jokes out there. We absolutely love them, just like Sean Singles. Caught back up, but sideways. He'll gather it back up off the final corner. He'll gather it up. That is Sharon Jr. now working his way to the outside. Not a battle for position. Let's see if who's going to be able to make it through turn 1. Sharon made it that time, but, well, he'll lose a little bit of ground. Now the question being, as you ride on the bar camera off the front of Sean Singles number 11 here tonight, will he be able to run back down that number 2? Hear that engine hum all the way down the back straightaway, spinning about 9,000 RPMs here tonight. Looks like Single can really charge the bus stop a lot faster than Michael Trevarthen can. But Trevarthen seems to be just a little bit smoother throughout the rest of the course. Second and third coming up on the 14 Massachusetts. That's Brian Bianchi. Bianchi will move to the outside. He's up there running in the 8th spot. He's got to get going because Sharon is coming. Going to be the battle for that spot. Oh, Single wheel hopping into turn 1. Brian Bianchi going to wheel hop also. That's going to open up the door. That did open up the door, and now Sharon's able to get around Bianchi. So Alfred Sharon now picking back up another spot. He's being scored in 8th. And we talk about the early seasons for the rookie of Alfred Sharon, and man, he's came in and just kind of lit the world on fire, and then as of late has just kind of stumbled. See him using all the track there as he closes in on the 42 of Max Terriot. Terriot is still sitting back into the 4th spot after his turnaround. And then he got into the wall off the final corner. High five from the flagman, though, that's time by there for car number 24, John Whitendorf, as now he'll ascend up through the S's. untouchable so far here tonight. And yeah, Doyle, these absolutely are some beautiful looking cars here tonight with the sun, just like Sean Single just keeps ripping the back tires off that car. Here comes Max Terriel. Terriel with 5 laps to go will take back P number 3, pushing Sean Single back to P number 4 now on the running order. Does he have enough time to rebound and go run down Michael Trevarthen? He is just out there. Call it about a second and a half ahead with 5 laps to go. Remember back to the Scrambler Series. They were here just 1 week ago. Max Terriel dominating, leading all but 5 laps of that race up until the final lap when he got tangled. Coming up through the S's on the final lap, causing him to fall all the way back to not win. It's just hard to even think about for Max, because it was just heartbreaking to dominate a race and not be able to win it after leading the most laps. 4 to go for Whitendorf. Michael Trevarthen's second place lead over third is absolutely shrinking. 0.4 of a second, that lap gone. Max is coming. Butler will go way wide down in turn number 1. Sean Single also going to go way wide as he's got Sharon Jr. pressuring him. As now the battle is for second. As Sean Single is back there, he was 3 wide momentarily. Sharon got around him, while Butler was trying to still gather it up. Single was in the middle there, nowhere to go. Now the battle for second. Here comes Max. Max will take second into the bus stop. So Max just is going to outbrake the number 2 there. Had the run, had the draft down the back straightaway. Will outbrake Michael Trevarthen and take over P number 2. Where's the race leader? Well, he already picked up 3 laps to go. 31 seconds out ahead. Cruise control tonight here for John Whitendorf. Yeah, Doyle, there was a setup provided tonight for these cars. Maybe a little slick, but these drivers are handling this setup and this track very well. The track temperature was 102 when we started this race. The sun has started to set just a little bit, but it's still a lot of sun on this big road course. Race leader approaching car number 30. That is Bob Higgins, the checkered flag auto supply number 30. Higgins going to go to the outside there. Your race leader will go on by. It'll be 2 laps to go for the race leader. Everybody else really just kind of seeing where they fall in at this point. Single has really started to fall off the back there of Terriel and Trevarthen. See if he can just hang on, because Blade Timmons is way back behind, about 11.5 seconds. Tim Williams having some problems in the 45 there. Looks like his motor is going to expire after the carousel. Heavy contact for him. Take a look what happened to the number 45 of Tim Williams. Seen a lot of cars go around here, just very unstable in the rear ends, and nosed it into the wall. Lap and a half left, though, here tonight in the 6 Rings Racing. 30 laps at the Glen. 2 corners away from the white flag. John Whitendorf will lead us out of corner number 12 here, back onto the front straightaway. White flag is up tonight, presented by Culpeper's Bakery and Cafe in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's the final lap here for John Whitendorf. Kind of on his celebratory lap there, as you see the number 19. Travis Minto, who is running 6th, final car on the lead lap, will now go a lap down on the final lap of the evening. Final time through the S's and down the back straightaway. So there are only going to be 5 cars tonight that finish on the lead lap. Whitendorf through the bus stop, very smooth, hitting the curbs. Just perfect, setting them back down. One straightaway, 2 corners to go here tonight till he'll pick up his first win of the season. Always a lot of speed when they unpack car number 24 here on Thursday nights, and he'll have one more corner to navigate. He'll hit the corner perfectly, real nice and smooth, coming across here to pick up the checkered flag in the 6 Rings Racing 30 at the Glen. John Whitendorf will win tonight at Watkins Glen. Second place, well, we still got a lot of corners left here for Max Terriol to be able to come around. Made a couple mistakes here tonight, but now looks like he should be able to waltz home. 2.5 second lead over Michael Trevarthen for second. Max coming up on the 40. No pressure here from behind for Max, so he just has to make it through the final corner. Rob Higgins getting a little sideways there, and he'll slow up the 42. But second place tonight, Max Terrill. Third will go to the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen, and Sean Single will finish there in 4th. 5th tonight in the final car on the lead lap. Just kind of taking his old time to come back around here. He'll be the final driver to come across the line. There goes Blade Timmons. He'll finish it off, and he says, that is enough. Dominating win here tonight, though. John Whitendorf will pick up the win. Took the pole, led them all 30 laps here tonight, so he'll be the winner. See if he can come back here and do some donuts for us. See if he can celebrate. So as he comes back here to celebrate, race fans, we're to keep the live picture for you. We'll let him celebrate. And then we'll be back with your post-race interviews here tonight at Watkins Glen. Welcome back here, race fans, to the post-race show here tonight for the 6 Rings Racing 30 at the Glen for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Modified Series for Red Light Racing. For the first time ever, we come to Watkins Glen, and we have a winner that will now put his name in the record book that nobody else can ever take it away. John Whitendorf here tonight. You pick up the checkered flag. You picked up the fastest lap in our practice session. You picked up the fastest lap in qualifying, and you laid down the fastest lap in the race. You led the most laps. What else could you do here tonight?
Yeah, it was a pretty smooth race from that perspective, and it's just a lot of fun out there, honestly. Just a lot of sliding around. The cars were hard to drive, and I really enjoyed that tonight.
This is something that we don't ever do with the Modified Series. We don't come to road courses, even though the Whalen Tour has gone to a couple road courses in its history. How did it really feel behind the wheel? Because we're used to going to short tracks, half a mile's tops maybe, but this big 2 mile plus road course is something of its own.
Yeah, I honestly, I've never done this before, so I kind of didn't know what to expect, but I kind of thought it was going to be kind of a pack race as far as road courses go, and it wasn't really like that at all. The cars were difficult to drive, they were sliding around, and I think that made it better, honestly.
It looked like a lot of fun up here from our perspective, and a lot of fun maybe behind the wheel for you. How does it feel, though, to know that now you have etched your name this season, in season number 1 for the Modifieds, now on the names, or on the list of names that have won?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know I don't know if I've made any races this year, but this season, but it's good to come back and put in a W.
Well, you pick up the W here tonight by slipping around the road course here in wine country in New York. Congratulations to pick up the win here tonight in the Six Rings Racing 30 at the Glen. Red carpet's yours, microphone is yours. Who makes this possible?
Just all the admins, everybody, yourself, and all the other drivers out there. It was a lot of fun tonight.
There you hear it from your winner tonight. John Whitendorf and car number 24 will pick up the win for the first time this season. Congratulations to him and his crew. And how about the man who finishes back there in P number 2? Max, it was a little bit of an up and down night. It looked like he had a fast enough car to stick with John up there. Just made one mistake, and then the car just kind of, well, it took a little while for it to come back to you.
Yeah, that one mistake cost me a lot of time in second and third place, so I had to fight back. Had just enough laps to make it so, but John was in a class of his own. I tried to take the easy on the tires early on, but it didn't matter compared to last night's practice. Even if I didn't push as hard, they were still sliding around as much as if I had pushed around from lap 1. So I mean, that's a new learning technique with these modifieds. I don't know if it'll be a regular thing for road course racing, but it was certainly fun.
Now, you're a road course racer. You know, you do very well on the asphalt side of things, whether it's short tracks or super speedways, the intermediates. How do you feel about taking these modifieds, though, to the twists and turns here at Watkins Glen?
Well, with this package specifically, I had trouble finding the right brake balance, and that's probably where I worked the most, but couldn't dial it in to my liking. And the torque on these higher powered engine compared to the SKs, they can surprise you on the corner exits once you get to enough RPMs, and that's where I made the mistake. But it's probably something that we didn't expect, but I think it was something to look forward to in the following season if it happens to be a popular choice.
Well, a good run for you here tonight, Max. P number 2 once again here at Watkins Glen. Who do you got to thank back home?
Yep, shout out to my girlfriend, my friend Max at MK Medic, and my dad, to Josh and Rob and Checkered Flag Auto Supply and Turn 3 Network for the broadcasts.
There you hear from P number 2 tonight, Max Terrell coming home. P number 2 after qualifying second here tonight. How about the man who stuck it out and picked up the third place finish tonight? Drives car number 2 here. Well, Mike, you and Peanut Butter and Jelly were out there racing pretty hard here tonight. Tell us what it felt like behind the wheel of that car.
Man, Pony Setup Shop BK Paints number 2 is on fire tonight, son.
Well, you can hear it in his voice, race fans. He's a little amped up after that. But how about the battle with the 11 of Sean Single there? You got around him with, I believe, it was on lap number 10 or so, and you kind of started to pull away, but he reeled you right back in.
Yeah, we're definitely back and forth. He had sections of the track he was better at. I had sections I was faster at. It seemed to equalize. We definitely were around each other most of the night. Lots of fun, though. Obviously, like Max said, John was in a class of his own, way out there. Even with Max's mistake, he was still obviously quicker than me and Sean there and got back around both of us. But I'll take this as a win, man. We've had a really rough season in all of our cars, and I'll take this one. It's like a win to me, brother.
A win to you. You're not known on the asphalt side of things on Monday night to be the road course ringer type, but is there anything that, these modifieds, that they feed into something maybe a little bit looser to your handling where, maybe a little ginger on that throttle here tonight?
Yeah, the setup on the car, a lot of guys were complaining of loose, and it was snap loose. And I thought the car was super comfortable. It was really fast. I like a loose car, so it's probably why I lean more towards it. Like you said, I'm not really known as a road course ringer, but really comfortable with the NASCAR style tracks. Watkins Glen, Sonoma, your Roval and stuff like that, Daytona. But the car just felt really a lot better than any of the other classes of cars we run here on these road courses.
Well, a great run for you here tonight as you pick up P number 3. Who do you got to thank back home for that beautiful paint job?
Yeah, definitely want to give a big shout out to BK Paints. Did an awesome job with the paints for us. McConey Setup Shop, the boys back at Rev Esports. I know we put in a lot of laps, and with Dalton and Sean and Blade and Tim, and yeah, hell of a night. Definitely want to give a hats off to the broadcaster. Love watching the show afterwards, Roger, and hats off to the admins for putting this league on.
And there you hear from the Rev Esports number 2. Michael Trevarthen will round down our podium finishers tonight here as John Whitendorf picks up the big win here tonight at Watkins Glen. Sean Single will finish in P number 4, while Blade Timmons will finish on the final top 5 spot for being the last driver to pick up a lead lap finish. Travis Minto, Dave Bragg, Alfred Sharon, Brian Bianchi, and Joshua Buckley round down the top 10. Those are your top 10 drivers here tonight for the Six Rings Racing 30 at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Race fans, it's been one heck of a race here racing in New York. I can't wait to see if we can come back to a road course next season with these modifieds. John Whitendorf will always be the first driver to win a road course race here with the series. So that's absolutely cool, as they would say. But for all you cool cats and kittens out there, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show here from Watkins Glen for the Six Rings Racing 30 at the Glen. Tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Modified Series, presented by Red Light Racing. For everybody at Six Rings Racing, Checkered Flag Auto Supply, and Red Light Racing, and all of us here from the Turn 3 Racing Network, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We will see you at the next one.